Hey, good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Wade and Carter Show. Ash Brent, Commander in studio. Did I just? That's the old one.
What did you do?
I thought I disconnected my microphone. Welcome to the Wade and Carter Show, live from the Atzenhofer studio, as we are every single show.
There you go. Yeah, the Atzenhofer studio is really, really nice here at the offices at 205. Welcome you to come by. I don't know. It's almost like standing room only. I don't know if there's any available suites, but we like company. Come in, climb the 26 steps. Yes, you can have the space next to us, and we'll get you the Wade and Carter deal on it. The good news is during business hours, there's nobody here. So you've got a very quiet environment in which to work. And the other places that are up here are like spa experiences and different, I say women's services, eyebrows and stuff like that. Some of you men may get your brows done. We call you odd. 68 degrees in Victoria, Texas, under cloudy skies, heading to a high today of 83.
Where'd that chance of rain go? Did it just disappear?
It's funny how the weather, man,
gets it wrong
it's
so
just
often.
Wrong so often that it almost doesn't matter. It does say here that there's what does that number say?
It says 80%.
And then tomorrow,
60.
And Sunday,
70. But the thunderstorms are gone now.
Yeah. I did mow my yard yesterday. We're going to leave town in the morning and a baseball weekend. And
You're gone the whole weekend, huh?
No, I'm leaving tomorrow morning. And I think of Friday as the weekend. It is. I mean, it's the end of the work week. Around 2:00 this afternoon, it'll be weekend.
Ash, you got anything going on tomorrow?
Why?
Just thinking we could have a party somewhere.
Oh, without me? Yeah. I see how y'all are.
An available place I know about.
I see how y'all are. But I mowed the lawn to a little bit of mist. And I thought, oh man, it's fixing to open up. The 21-7-14 blend. I had this little small leaf. It was like a little bush that kind of grew in my St. Augustine, and it grew until the St. Augustine really took over, and then it just choked it out. But I would grab it, and you could grab it, kind of bring it up to the surface, and grab like one spot and pull it up
by the roots, all the roots.
Sort of, yeah. But I mean, I don't know if I'm making any headway with it. My fertilizer eliminated that. So good weekend, lows in the high 60s and highs in the low 83, 81, low 80s.
Stephanie Connie, Ricky King, Bobby Leister on the podium this morning. Good morning, everybody. Thanks for tuning in, whether you're in the No Bull Network.
And thank you, Dearland Feed, for being such a consistent and quality sponsor of the weather. Top story. Our top story today.
Hurricane forecast, since we're talking weather.
Oh, there's a new El Nino. Everybody's all excited. This is going to be a very powerful El Nino. And, I don't know. I saw the other day said 11 to 14 named storms.
Colorado State predicting 13 named storms.
Which they do every year.
Yeah,
every year. And they have no
basically
clue.
Mirrors last year. 6 hurricanes, 2 major hurricanes.
Dumbest thing ever. They can do all the computer models they want. God controls the weather.
Last year, we had 13 named storms. 5 became hurricanes, 4 major hurricanes. I don't think a hurricane hit the U.S. did it last year.
Well, you can't even get a week's worth of rainstorms correct. Don't tell me what, I mean, hey, look, go back to Hurricane Harvey. 2 days before it made landfall, we were just bracing for lots of rain. True story. Just a big tropical storm. Boom! Overnight, it becomes a Category 3.
Well, it wasn't even supposed to hit us at one point.
Right?
Remember?
Yeah. It says in 2025 there were 13 named storms, 5 hurricanes, and 4 major hurricanes. The reason they name the storms now, there's 13 of them. The reason they name them so quickly is that much of your homeowner's coverage has a named storm provision. If it's windstorm, it benefits you, I guess, as a homeowner to have a named storm.
Well, and also once there's a named storm in the Gulf, insurance companies will not
write anymore.
Write anything else.
Yeah,
that
they
could
call
be
it the
affected.
box.
Yeah.
Once you're in the box,
20% chance of one of those 5 hurricanes that they're calling for this year of hitting the Gulf Coast, according to Colorado State. They say that about a 32% chance of one hitting the U.S. coast.
1 in 3. It's all made up. They have no idea. Do not, take heed of anything.
No,
what you should do is be prepared. And one way to be prepared, besides a couple of days of food and maybe a couple of weeks of water, there's nothing wrong with having a pallet of bottled water in your garage. It doesn't go old.
You don't need
Yes,
to
it
buy all.
does.
You don't need
Does
to
it?
It does.
You don't need to buy all the toilet.
How does it
paper.
go old? Does it get slimy?
Yeah, that's why when they send out pallets of water for like hurricane relief, eventually they have to throw it all away if it doesn't get used because the sun will hit it and
There you
it'll
go.
the plastic will melt into the water.
Yeah, you end up with lots of
Oh,
microplastics.
microplastics. That's the big buzz.
Why doesn't somebody pay attention to this stuff as it's getting close and just start giving it away
100%.
instead
Right.
of chucking it?
There's no reason to have to check.
Give it to Corpus Christi. They need the water.
Or they could use it.
Just pass it out to porches. There you go.
Real quick, the Crossroads Independent Cattlemen's Association annual fundraiser going to take place at Club Westerner Saturday, May 9th. There's a trade show associated with that at 3:30. They've got a meal of hamburger steaks going from 4 till 6, and then they have an auction at 6:30. So they got a country store. You can get photos with your kids with horses, mini horses and mini cows, and it all benefits the Crossroads ICA Scholarship and Awards Program. If you stop by Deerland Feed, talk to Jackie. She can tell you how and where to get tickets.
Cody,
They're only
tell folks
$15.
about tomorrow. Is it tomorrow? When's the equestrian deal?
It's next weekend, but this weekend is the last time to get tickets, and then they go up at the door. But they're expecting a huge turnout, and
It's the Mudbug Barn Dance. That's right. Saturday, April 18th.
$50 tickets through this weekend. Starting when? Monday, you're paying $60. No, you won't be able to buy them Monday. You'll have to wait to get them at the gate.
At the gate, and then it's after that. It's
60.
they've bought so much food, so it depends when the food runs out.
Yeah. Not to mention, I want to give a quick shout out of appreciation where we visited with
Michelle.
BJ and Scott Nelson, and they donated a roll-off dumpster to the event to make things easier for the equestrian center. BJ said they just felt moved to donate something, and they donated them. They're already a customer of White Trash, but they donated them a roll-off.
Very nice of them.
Just put everything in it and
I
take it off.
saw this too late yesterday to get anybody on the show this morning. But if there's somebody from the city listening,
There's always somebody from
give
the
us a
city
call
listening.
because Victoria, one of many cities, lumped into a attorney general lawsuit because apparently we didn't get all our tax information posted publicly enough, our tax rate information, or submitted to the state. So the attorney general's office has sued Victoria plus just about every other city in the state. So it's not like Victoria is the only city party to this lawsuit, but
Are there damages? I mean, are they going to try to take money from us or just make us comply?
I think we can't raise tax rates without this information being posted. So I don't know if we raise tax rates or we're planning on it, but apparently we're out of compliance with the new state law. So
There you go.
yeah. So what else is happening around the world?
Ceasefire.
Very fragile. Apparently talks beginning today in Islamabad, right?
Mm-hmm.
Between folks from the radical Islamists that lead Iran and JD Vance. The Strait of Hormuz, conflicting reports that it's open, it's not open. Iran says, yes, it is, but you got to talk to us first. President Trump says, no, it's wide open. Shipping companies, though, they're just kind of hanging around the Gulf and not really doing anything. So you got a bunch of boats just sitting there because of the uncertainty.
Well, for the first time in its history, Lloyd's of London, that is kind of the beginnings of insurance. It's when ships were the beginning of insurance. They have said, hey, look, if you take a tanker into that strait in the middle of a war, we're not going to cover that tanker. That's a big deal when you're talking about hundreds of millions of dollars. And, which, by the way, could be viewed as kind of British interference in the situation, but that doesn't mean that it is. It may also be practical business sense, right? Don't take your Bentley into the ghetto, but It doesn't mean that, excuse me, my man, can you tell me how to get back onto the freeway? And they're taking your hubcaps. But
excuse me, you think one ship captain pulls up to the next, asks you, any Grey Poupon?
Yes. Do you have any Grey Poupon? Yeah, you got to wonder. Strait of Hormuz is not Iranian territory or their property, but they seem to think that they have the ability to.
Well, they have all the land that and it's all close enough that they can launch, RPGs and things at boats that they decide to attack. But shipping companies are basically just sitting there going, maybe we're not going to send anybody through at the moment, and they're waiting.
Who are you to make? If you're the captain, do you just decide to take your 750 foot loaded down with crude oil tanker
that can't move very quickly and is basically a sitting duck?
You can't outrun, a seagull. So where are you going to go? It's craziness to you need to know that it's okay.
Curious, do those original Lloyd's of London policies, did they have undocumented motorists, underinsured,
right?
Underinsured captains,
right. Underinsured. Yeah, it's very interesting. It's so cool how they would call it the underwriter. That's where they put up there. This load is going to the British Virgin Islands, and and people would underwrite. I'll take 10% of that load for a premium. I get to make some money in the event that it doesn't crash. I know that captain. I know that vessel. I'll underwrite part of that. That's where it all started.
Crazy.
The spreading of risk. Yep. Bobby Leister, Linda Chris, P. Strauss, Scott Tomko Jr. Good morning, buddy. Scott Snow, Greg Garcia, Heather Stewart, Lisa Poole, Andrew Alvarez. Good morning, Tammy Keeling, Mark Kurtz, Scott Bazar. Okay, sorry. Justin Glass, Sherry Jacobs, Jordan Glass. There you go. Daniel Wade White, not a serial killer. Wendy Hughes Garcia, maybe a serial killer. There you go, Linda Christ. Crystal Map. Hello, Crystal Map. Tell your father that we said hi. Brent Anderson. Hi, Zip.
Will Franklin.
There's Donnie.
Good morning, Don.
Hi, T-Lat.
Oh, it's an auction item. There you go. 30-yard roll-off. That's a great auction item.
Mm-hmm. Oh, it's an auction. I'm sorry, BJ. There's BJ Nelson checking in. School board, former chamber president, just on and on. I would say she's a very high-level busybody, right? I mean, she's like in the middle of it all.
Kevin Leininger, Brad Mitchell,
Jason.
Jason Lewick. Good morning. Buddy Stavanoa checking in as well. So, what about the ceasefire itself? Apparently, I guess folks from Lebanon and I don't know if Benjamin Netanyahu is going to show up here, but apparently folks from Israel are supposed to be in Washington, D.C. next week. Those two countries are going to sit down. Here's the interesting thing that I found out yesterday, doing a little bit of research on the whole Pakistani involvement in the Iran-U.S. ceasefire. Pakistan was like the middleman. They were the messenger. And apparently there were about 3 different ceasefire agreements being floated around.
Right.
Well, apparently when it was all said and done and Pakistan came out and said, we've got a ceasefire, hey, and everybody was cheering. Well, apparently at that point, nobody had agreed to the ceasefire but Pakistan. So then Pakistani officials had to scramble.
They made it up.
And they sent a proposal to Iran. And they sent a proposal to the U.S. Problem was the two proposals weren't the same reportedly. What Iran agreed to and what the U.S. agreed to, 2 completely different agreements, which has led to some of the confusion. Also, the way the Iran works, a lot of the commanders have absolute authority in their little areas of Iran. And word was slow to get to them on the ceasefire. That's why there were some skirmishes after the ceasefire was announced, because word hadn't gotten to them yet. So anyway, a little background on some things I read yesterday on what happened between Pakistan and Iran and the United States and how that all went down. Part of that was one agreement said that Israel will not attack Lebanon as part of the ceasefire. The other agreement said, no, that wasn't part of it. So there you go.
Israel, to me, is kind of taking advantage of what they see as an opportunity, a small window. Andrew, I'll address that in a minute. It's a small window where they're saying, hey, look, there's a little asterisk here. The U.S. can have an agreement with Iran. We are still blasting Hezbollah, which is in Lebanon, which is funded by Iran. So we're not subject to that ceasefire. I can see it both ways. I don't think it's right. I wish that Benjamin Netanyahu would settle down a little bit. And at the same time, Iran is kind of copping out by saying, hey, your friend is still bombing our friends, and therefore our ceasefire doesn't count. Iran seems to be pouting from a position of perceived strength that they don't have. They forget that they are one call to attack away from being powerless and bridgeless. They don't have much leverage here, really, except that's being granted to them. You could say, well, they control the Strait of Hormuz. They do, until we blow up all their power plants. I mean, and I agreed with something you said the other day. Why not just blast all their power lines? That would put them in darkness, plummet them into darkness for weeks, if not months. Why wouldn't you? Andrew Everett said,
if we can drop 300 people into Iran without being detected to rescue one pilot, we could easily go to the major power.
stupid computer. This whole idea that AI is going to get too powerful, it's still just dumb.
Could they I have no problem with Anthropic's new model if it's going to figure out why our stupid computer always does this, or not always, but
yeah,
it never shuts off and restarts at 5 a.m.
No,
we're not here.
It just shuts off it just goes, our computer found something and needs to restart, and then it just shuts down. Yeah. Very, very
ran into problems or something dumb like that.
Unbelievable.
Is what it says, but
I say it all the time. It doesn't just happen to us. It happens to the big guys. It happens to everybody. Okay. All these guys, Mike Slater, David Webb, they all office at home offices. I mean, these guys are they're not getting up and going to a studio in the mornings. Webb lives in Florida.
Wilkow does. He goes in every day.
Well, he's, okay. But Webb is nationwide and lives in Florida, goes and does his thing in Florida. Ashenite somewhere. I'm gonna give you a heads up now. I don't want any whining. The week of April 21st through 24th, we will not be here. 20th through 24th.
I quit.
Yeah. You've already done that once. We're just glad to have you back. Cody Kim alert. Cody Kim. Wave Cody.
Morning. How you
There
doing?
you are.
So what's all this big deal? Because this morning when we were checking in, I mean, we'll get to Artemis because I think it's cool. The splashdown is going to be cool. I'm not going to be able to watch it, unfortunately, but this rejuvenated my interest in the space race. It really did. And here's the thing, because back in the 60s, I wasn't alive. You were. We were trying to beat the Russians to the moon. Now we're trying to beat China to the moon, even though we've already been there once.
In theory.
That's not good enough. We can't just claim, we've already been there, so whatever. But I think it's interesting. But Cody, you're the tech guy. Aside from the Artemis story, the big story was Anthropic and their new AI model, and they won't let
It's
normal
just
people
too
use
powerful
it.
for the
It's
public.
too
Too
powerful
powerful,
for you
right.
and me because we're too stupid and we don't know how to harness its power. Is basically what they kind of.
Yeah, that's correct. Absolutely. Do you want me to expand that, or
Are
what were
we
you?
are we too
What
common?
are the
to use that product?
concerns? Like they're saying, wow, it could expose or it could point out
Vulnerabilities in
vulnerabilities.
software.
What the hell does that even mean?
What does that mean? Cody?
Supposedly because it's so correct that it's finding shortcomings in software that we use every day, and that it's able to point out stuff, and that a hacker could turn around and, all right, well, I'm going to hack Microsoft Word or whatever. And, you know, it's kind of like, well, do you not give the baby the cup because she's not ready for it? Like,
So if I'm on there and I'm using their new AI, which is what's it called? This one.
it's
Is it an update to Claude,
Anthropic.
or is this a different one from Claude? Because Claude is Anthropic's Chat GPT version, kind of the common man's
Right.
AI, right? But
Claude Mythos preview.
so if
by
I'm
Anthropic.
using this, can some hacker get access to my computer and just destroy my life?
We already do that.
Okay.
Right. It's true.
That's not new. I think what they're concerned about is that people like again, Microsoft or somebody that has flaws in their software, somebody could turn around and say, well, I'm just going to take over this. And I think it's the exposure of risk for people over the lack of not wanting it to be released.
Yeah.
And so I think the bigger issue here really is, well, if we point all these things out that are wrong, are we going to get sued? Are we going to get all these problems? I mean, if it comes down to it, I think they're just trying not to get sued.
Yeah. Heather Stewart goes back to the Israel-Lebanon issue. She says she struggles with us trying to tell Israel what to do. They live in the region. They have suffered in the region at the hands of Hezbollah for years. It's who are we to tell Israel what to do? I don't disagree, Heather. That was and thank you. You made a better version of my point. BJ Nelson says, since you will be gone, folks can stream America Reads the Bible from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. Eastern time on Pure Flix.
Ooh.
So that'd be 8 to 8 our time.
Yes, American can read the Bible. Sign up for the live stream and information. This will be life-changing. And what a great way to celebrate our 250th anniversary as a country. I agree. I'm looking forward to it. I'm going to be out of town that week in DC. Ash will be out of town that week in Canada. So the 20th through the 24th, you will be on your own. However, I vow to send you some live video updates. Brian Small says, Carter is moody today. I can tell. I think I've been a little bit edgy lately, and I think part of it is the stress
You're
of
not sleeping well?
no. I
Is your
sleep great.
CPAP machine not working?
I don't wear a CPAP machine. I think the part of it is the concept of war. I think it grates on me. It does. In that regard, I think this is probably to a degree how Donald Trump feels. He's like, look, I'm tired of it. Stop doing what you're doing and let's get this thing back on track. I fully believe that this president would help Iran rebuild if they would agree to the peace points. I do. Everybody wants to hate on the guy. I just don't. I believe in what he's doing. And it's really frustrating to me that it's really frustrating to me that him doing what's right is probably going to put some Republican voters, conservative voters on the sidelines in the midterms, and it's probably going to allow the Democrats to take the House and maybe even the Senate. And then we all as Americans are going to be looking at 2 years of absolutely nothing, with the Democrats suing and
as opposed to the 2 years of almost absolutely nothing so far.
But a lot has gotten done. It's gotten done under executive order, and they will put a cease to that. So there you go.
Well, yeah. And once again, Iran doing what they're doing in Lebanon, my initial concerns, Israel doing what they're doing in Lebanon. My initial concerns was Israel's going to use this as an excuse to expand their efforts, right? And they're continuing on. So
I don't disagree.
Yeah.
I don't. Jennifer Raber says maybe Cody, I can't see it. Maybe Cody just moves small laminated photos of you around the map and post updates. I think so. And we're going, yeah. See, I agree, Andrew. Impeachment after impeachment after impeachment. It's the Dems have made this really popular. The Republicans opened the door by impeaching Clinton. It was just an unheard of congressional exercise.
Well, and if the Senate would get rid of the filibuster, the SAVE Act would be passed already. They won't do it.
It needs to be passed.
But so America Reads the Bible, the 18th through the 25th of April. I think it's a great idea, but at the same time, is there anything that signifies how lazy we've become as a nation that you don't even have to read the Bible anymore yourself? We'll have a bunch of people read it for you for the next week.
Yeah.
I'm being kind of facetious, but kind of not at the same time. It's just
very
interesting.
interesting.
It's where we are. I think it's a great idea, great endeavor, but at the same time, it speaks volumes to
Jonathan Williams,
the folks that want somebody else to do something, all the heavy lifting for them.
Executive orders are easily undone. Yes.
As we found out on January 21st of 2020, and as we found out January of 25.
Something else that's easily undone: cracks in your driveway, unlevel slabs. Come on, call USA Foundation Repair. 578-HOME. Let Charlie Garcia literally send his brothers to solve your foundation problems. They can level up a home on a pier and beam very quickly. They do a great job. Today's Chicken Fried Friday. Get into Veracruz Restaurant. Let them serve you a wonderful
chicken fried steak.
Chicken fried steak, potatoes, gravy. They've got gravy. There's nothing wrong with gravy.
Nope.
Gravy. Yeah. Absolutely. Veracruz Restaurant, the best, just the best Tex-Mex in town. I would put it, we'll blind taste test it anytime you want. Their queso, their fresh salsa, their creamy guacamole. It is the best of the best of the best. Go in and enjoy. Oh, by the way, wish a special happy birthday. We don't do this on the program. We're not.
Tonight's Ida's bingo night, right?
We're not Brother Gary and the cake of the week. Happy birthday, Ida Caballero.
We were once.
Happy birthday. Reach out tonight. You can go to Ida's birthday bingo. It's at Palace Bingo where friends meet friends. There'll be lots of friends there for Ida. Go in tonight. It starts at 10:40. They're calling it midnight bingo. It's like Newfoundland. It's Newfie time.
It ends about midnight.
It'll end about midnight. Yeah. Go in there. Go into Palace Bingo tonight. Friday night bingo. Get in there. Allen's Wrecker Service, 578-6300. If you have a problem over the weekend, your car won't start, you have a problem with a need for a tow, reach out to 578-6300, Allen's Wrecker Service. Tell us about the chopping block, Ash.
Well, they got some nice prime Denver steaks for $17.99 a pound. Those look, you're getting a nicely marbled prime steak, grated steak for $17.99 a pound.
It's on sale.
Yeah.
It's usually over
Ain't
20.
happening. The ribeyes, look at those. Those look
fantastic.
nice. No price on those. They just look good.
They're just priceless.
Yeah. And they've got Boudin chicken bombers, $3.99 each. Those are nice. Little chicken breast stuffed with Boudin wrapped in bacon. They've got cheesy brisket poppers. Those are really good if you haven't had them. Jalapeno poppers stuffed with brisket and cream cheese.
We had a cheese laden boudin yesterday that had chili pekins in it. And I'm telling you, man, it had just enough kick. It wasn't overpowering, but it's definitely different. It wasn't that jalapeno pop. It was a chili pekin, and it had cheese in it and the rice, and it's just so flavorful. We throw it in the air fryer, man. It's easy.
Yeah, poppers are so good and easy in the air fryer. Here's something else you're not going to find. This is a delicacy. I don't know if you like this. I do. They've got marrow bones at the Chop and Block. Trying to catch a price on that. $10.99 a pound.
What do you do with those?
You roast them, or you stick them on the smoker and roast them slowly, and then you get a marrow fork, and you just eat. I mean, you could use a knife too, and just poke all that marrow through. Then you just eat the marrow out of the bone. So good.
So Canadian.
Sounds nasty.
These are the people that eat head cheese.
I don't eat head cheese.
Cheesy heifer boudin, Dawn calls it.
So anyway, get to the Chop Block for all your meat needs.
Speaking about a glory hound, we throw it in the air fryer, ? I do, says T-Lat. Thank you, sweetheart. BJ Nelson says marrow bones is the most distinguishing, I think she meant to say disgusting thing she's ever eaten. Well, then you haven't drank butt coffee with me and Ash. He wants to know if Brian Small says maple syrup on that.
You don't need to. You don't.
And
need
Christy
to
Thurman just gloats. Marrow bones are great.
Yep.
I've seen them in restaurants, Cody. They'll take a piece of bone about 10 inches long.
It's a French thing.
Cut it in half. Yeah, the French.
I'm not French.
When they're not surrendering or putting on wigs and refusing to bathe, the French are quite the culinary experts.
So good.
You've got some. You're a little French. I mean, sometimes say the word Chesnick Furniture, folks. Chesnick
For all your accoutrements.
There you have it.
Yeah,
Chesnick inviting you to come in this weekend. Just walk around. I guarantee you may not buy anything this weekend, but you're going to want something, whether it's new bedding, Tempur-Pedic, Sealy Posturepedic, Stearns and Foster, all the top names.
A new recliner to watch the Masters in.
Masters week. Rory McIlroy atop the leaderboard at -5 yesterday.
Which Burns is it? Patrick?
Sam Burns. Also there, I think if I had to bet on one playing well on the weekend,
Robbie Burns,
I would bet on Rory McIlroy at 2 under, which is just too close for them, is one Scotty Scheffler. I like Mr. Scheffler's chances as well.
Fast and dry. The conditions yesterday is supposed to get even more dry as the weekend because there's no rain at Augusta in the forecast. But only 10 golfers shot under par yesterday. That's it. 5 under to 1 under. Everybody else par or better. A bunch of former champs.
Really
flirting with 5, 6, 7, 8 under.
You always have that great guy that you think is going to have a chance. John Rahm shot like 5 or 6 over. I don't know, something stupid.
Good.
And everybody before the deal, John Rahm should make a great showing here. He's playing his best golf.
You know what's
he didn't.
The one thing this year that's missing though, and has sort of been missing since Tom Watson walked away.
The old guy
that gives you 2 rounds and makes the cut and gives you some hope.
But like you said yesterday, you go into the 15th, which is a par 5, and Freddie Couples manages somehow, I'm sure there was water involved, to make a 9. So he makes a 9.
He was 2 under at that point or something,
Yeah, he
right?
makes a 9, and then he makes a 5 on the 16th par 3, which probably involves some water, and then he makes a 6 on the 17th par 4. So that's 8 over in 3 holes to shoot 78. He parred 18. So if you're looking at if a guy like Freddie Couples I'm not saying like ifs and buts. If he just makes pars, most people will birdie the 15.
He's 2 under and sitting at tied for 6th.
Yeah, but instead he said, "No, I'm 64 years old. I'm going to go ahead and make a quad." I'll bet you that's the first quadruple bogey. Cody, how many quadruple bogeys has Fred Couples made in Masters play history? He's probably played there 35 times.
Probably.
I'll bet you he's
more.
Never made another 9 on a par 5 at Augusta National. The course playing very fair. Guys are driving the ball long and straight and getting lots of roll. It's just, I just have never seen the gaudiness, the opulence of the amazing.
Was this Spieth you told me?
No, Fred Couples. Amazing landscaping. It's just amazing how they manicure that place. I mean,
First thing, Bank of Louise Astros update. Astros had yesterday off. They traveled from Colorado to Seattle. They will spend the weekend in the Emerald City, taking on the hapless Mariners. Mariners 4-9, Astros 6-7. I don't know that either one of these teams deserve to win this series.
I think the Astros win up there. I just think the nature of baseball is they right their ship. The Astros have been putting up hits. They just haven't been putting up runs.
And their pitching is
JP France is coming back to the team, which does not give me a lot of hope, but I'm ready for Spencer Arrighetti to be brought back up as well. Commander Cody points out that was Fred Couples' first and only quad in his Masters career.
But according to what I found, 2 other people also did it this year.
Who's that?
Robert McIntyre and Danny Willett.
Robert McIntyre was playing pretty well early on, and that must have been what derailed him. I think he ended up +8 as well.
Yeah. So there's a total of 8 in the Masters history, and 3 of them were this year.
Wow. So and the greens are fast and slick.
Tatsuya Amai is the starting pitcher for the Astros.
Give me that pronunciation again, because I just don't have it.
Amai? I think it's Amai. I don't know the first name that well. Tatsuya?
So let's just call him Tits. Tits Amai.
He went his last outing against
everybody.
His last outing against the A's, he struck out 9 5 2/3. He looked really good. Hopefully his slider works as well tonight, and the Astros can right the ship and beat the Mariners.
I hope so. It would be nice if the Astros did beat the Mariners, because at the end of the year, we know that when both teams are playing well and it comes down to the final days, you love to have those inter conference, if you will, your inter bracket divisional games. You like to win those.
Yeah. And the hockey half-minute, Dallas beat Minnesota 5-4 yesterday. There you go. But Colorado clinched the top seed in the NHL playoffs with a win over the Calgary Flames. So
interesting. America's fertility rate hit another record low in 25, falling from 53.8 to 53.1 births per 1,000 women.
That's pretty. I mean, that's almost one full birth. That's pretty significant.
It is. And I don't know how you get a fraction of a birth, but I'll let it go at that, 53.8. So there you have it.
2 decades slide. A lot of critics of President Trump's immigration policy now. Well, we got to fix this because but here's the thing. They don't want to fix it. They want to fix it for one reason, the Democrats. Because as the birth rate shrinks, as the population gets older, what else is happening? Oh, income taxes revenue is getting smaller. That's what they truly want.
The population's getting older, which means that you're going to have to pay more to prop up Social Security. So fewer people paying more. Yeah. So that old guys like me can sit home and do nothing.
And that's the real reason why the Dems want immigration. That plus vote buying and vote getting and election fixing.
Well, I think that our society's gotten more selfish, right? There's no sacrifice. People don't want to sacrifice to have kids. They only want to have enough kids that they can afford, and they can't really justify having. Used to, you had 5 or 6 kids because you needed 3 boys to work the farm, and you can't do that anymore. You don't need those people anymore. Yeah. BJ Nelson says we need to stop telling young people to wait, get married, and have lots of babies. I agree. I think it's good for our country. Have some more kids. But people really do say, well, I can't afford to have any more kids.
You never can afford to. If you really truly waited till you could afford to have kids, you'd never have kids.
My dad told me that when I first got married. Yep. Don't wait till you can afford them.
The funny thing is, when you have them, when you're young and poor, you figure it out.
Yeah.
That's not the funny thing, but that's just what you do. You realize, well, you know what? I don't need that new set of golf clubs because baby needs a new pair of shoes.
Yeah, exactly. Barack Obama quote, I don't want my daughter punished with a baby. Yeah.
I mean, if that's how you look at it as a parent,
he and Big Mike probably adopted those two.
What kind of parent are you? Kids are a blessing, despite all the pain and suffering they put us through.
I have a question for you. What do you make of? It's my favorite part of the show. What do you make of this? That Melania Trump felt the need to break her most of the time silence and say, "Hey, look, I wasn't a victim of Jeffrey Epstein."
I think it's. I mean, a lot of people started questioning the timing. The same people questioning the timing are the same people that were badgering, bullying, and completely just lying about her on social media. And I think that's what spurred this all. Was she was getting hammered on social media for being a victim of Jeffrey Epstein, or maybe a trade worker for Jeffrey Epstein, depending on which social media account you followed, which one was legit, which one wasn't. And I think that's what spurred it. She basically just said, "No, I had nothing to do with Jeffrey Epstein."
Did you see that?
That's basically what I think it accounts. I think that if you're asking, that's what I think.
Did you see that yesterday? I need you folks to do. I'm gonna play this for you folks. Let me just get it through here once, and I'll play it for you. Let's see. Can I just go back?
Yeah, you should be able to.
I'd like to. I want to go back. That's not what I wanted. Here you go.
Liberals need to calm down. President Trump is not going to harm gay people, bring back slavery, or strip women of their rights. He's not a Muslim.
There you have it. Lots and lots
Who
of
said
talk.
that?
Lots and lots of talk among, who is this lady? It's very difficult. It's just whipping me. I don't know. What's her name?
Well, just let the ad run for a second there.
Jamie Mitchell. Jamie Michelle. I don't know her.
I don't either.
But you look back and you're hearing more and more. This morning driving in, a Breitbart pundit was talking about the incompatibility of the Islamic way of life versus American values, and talking about,
and I think that's true when you talk about Sharia law and following things to the radical extremes that the clerics in Iran do, right? Throwing people off buildings for being gay, stoning women. In some countries they'll kill a woman because she's raped, because they consider her the adulterer. She's the one that was bad because somehow she had it coming. I mean, come on. These are the values that are incompatible with Western civilization. Absolutely.
Right. And I look around and you get these people that are saying, well, hey, we're all on stolen land. This land was all stolen. Well, let's just say that was true. Let's just say that's the way it is.
Which it's not.
Right. Let's just say that that's not just the way of the world, but that's how this country was founded. It was on stolen land. Does that mean that those of us who are here, who had nothing to do with that, it's not my fault that my ancestors emigrated here legally from Ireland. That's not my fault. Does that mean that we should roll over and let someone else come and take the land from us because it was ill-gotten, technically? I don't know.
Who's going to get the land? I mean, if you think about it, the Comanches stole. I mean,
they'd been stealing it from each other for generations.
Yeah, that's exactly
fighting,
it.
Savagery, killing each other, barbarism,
eating each other.
Absolutely.
The Karankawas around here, they were known cannibals.
The Comanches scalped people while they were alive. Systemically, they would come out and humiliate you, scalp you, give you tremendous pain, and then finally kill you or just leave you to die. I don't feel bad about besting those people.
Put you down in a bed of fire ants.
Right. I feel no problem taking their land. I don't.
And then they would take the women and take them back to captivity, and the children, and then raise them as slaves.
Yeah.
I mean, and who do you give it to?
Right. Andrew Evers said, I will pay reparations to anyone I feel deserves them for what happened in the past. I feel no one deserves reparations for what happened in the past. Amen. 100%. And that's not being selfish. I mean, you see these people driving around and sadly, it's what I call the irrelevant Black American. The Black American has basically lazed themselves into irrelevance.
So that Jamie Mitchell lady is a conservative lesbian who created an organization called Gays Against Groomers, and it is a American far right and anti-LGBTQ organization for campaigning against gender affirming care for minors.
Interesting. She seems like a very confused person, right? She's a lesbian, but she's extreme right. I don't know.
She's not for the.
She's like, I just want what I want.
Transgender folks. That's the difference.
They have to unite. You know, they've
Linda Chris is no, they don't actually. That's one of the things that angers a lot of gays about the whole movement is the transgender side has just completely pirated their cause.
Ricky says the women that support Sharia law have lost their minds. Why? Where are the women's rights activists to stand up for these women? It does blow my mind. It totally blows my mind.
I watched a video yesterday of an Iranian refugee living in this country, is now a independent reporter because, you know, that's where all the good reporting is these days, to be honest. At least, I mean, if not for Nick Shirley, we would not have known what's going on in Minnesota. We would not have known some of the fraud in California. He wants to go to Canada. They're not letting him in. Imagine that. Canada not letting in a journalist because he's threatened to uncover the fraud in Canada. I mean, this guy's, you know, he's an ex-journalist as far as X, formerly known as Twitter journalist. But I watched a video yesterday of this Iranian refugee who is now an independent journalist on X get in the face of protesters protesting the U.S. war in Iran. And she kept asking this woman, why are you protesting this? And the woman tried to bring Palestine into this. And the Iranian was like, I'm from there. I've been jailed by the Ayatollah's IRGC for my speaking out against the regime. I left that country for my safety. And this protester just kept doubling down and doubling down.
Like, you don't know.
You don't know.
You're ignorant.
Exactly.
So let me ask you this. If I came to you, knowing what you know now, just knowing what you know in the world, and I came to you and I said, hey, I think all the guns ought to be picked up, would you say I am Republican or Democrat? All the guns ought to be picked up. I'd say you're
crazy, and I'd say you're Democrat.
Okay, so, well, aren't those synonyms? And if I came to you and said that I think that every woman ought to absolutely have the right to choose, no matter if it's just recreational sex that leads to an unwanted pregnancy, if you want to abort that baby, that should absolutely be your right, and the government maybe should even pay for it. Am I a Republican or a Democrat?
You're the Pope.
Okay, but I am a...
You're probably leaning more Democrat.
Okay, so if I came to you and said, using that logic, that thought synaptic map, if I came to you and said, after all the strides we've made trying to give women rights, Title IX, all the money that's been spent, all the people who sacrificed in the name of Billie Jean King, there should be no transgender men invading women's sports. Your heart tells you that I am a
Democrat.
That's right.
And the NCAA.
It is a classic Democrat position. And yet the Democrats say, oh, there's only 5 or 6 of them in the whole country. Let that guy who wouldn't have even made the NCAA tournament at Penn, let him win the ribbons. God bless him. He's competing. That blows me. If I came to you and said,
they're completely, I mean, if you really, what it boils down to is the Democrats are just completely trying to normalize abnormal / immoral
100%
/ borderline illegal behavior,
because
when it comes to
the country is screwed up. Half the country is godless and stupid. So as a result, if we can get all those people to vote for us, we can obtain power. If I came,
I'm not going to lump all the godless as stupid, because I know some folks that go to church every week, and I would call them stupid too.
I didn't. So everybody that's stupid isn't necessarily a Democrat, but all the Democrats are stupid. You have to do your concentric circles.
Okay.
But if I came to you and said, my party is the party that champions the weakest of the weak. We stand in the gap where those who can't stand, stand. Every child should have the right to be born. An adult should not have the right to terminate that baby's life. You would say that I was a
Republican.
Right, but in reality, that's because I am a Republican, but you would think that would be a Democrat. Standing in the gap, trying to protect the weakest of the weak, guaranteeing that the baby is given a chance.
That's probably where the libertarians are these days.
Oh, absolutely. Brian Small says he's hung up on the synaptic map. That's you're right there with me, though. I created a word picture for you.
Yeah,
works.
Radio is theater of the mind. Andrew Alvarez says the crazy part is not even half of the people. It's maybe half of that half. I don't think it's even that half, but you're right. It is the louder portion of that party that seems to be the ones that, well, and they stir up the ignorant and the idiots to go have a no kings rally in a country that doesn't have
that does absolutely nothing.
Every other country around the world protesting against our king. And ironically, some of those countries actually had dictators or very dictator-like governments and kings or monarchies.
Like Greenland. Real quick, folks, Paravito Wellness and the Vita Cafe inviting you in this weekend. The Vita Cafe inviting you in for a wonderful Saturday and or Sunday brunch. Wonderful fare, great people, fantastic service. They've got it all going on now. I visited with Erica Briggs the other day. She said, look, we have turned the corner and Vita Cafe is now entrenched and doing a great job. Go by and eat healthy. It's great to go in and know that you can eat anything on the menu and it's thoughtfully prepared and good for you.
And at Paravita Wellness, I had a new dish the other day. Their turkey bolognese is basically like spaghetti sauce served over spaghetti squash.
Ooh,
made with ground turkey. So good.
Spaghetti squash, maybe underappreciated, an easy dish to cook. You just take that big thing. It's like a big rock. And I cut it in half. And then I put about half an inch of water in a pan and I invert. I put the cavity down.
Cut side down.
Stick it in the oven for like 350 for about an hour. You can take it out. The seeds will come right out. It's like a pumpkin. There's seeds in the middle. And then you just scoop it out and shred it.
Shred it with a fork and
tastes like spaghetti. It really does.
Not quite, but it's still pretty good substitute.
If you close one eye and squint, Dawn makes
and plug your nose
turkey spaghetti sauce, and it's like she's like, eat up, big man, eat all you want. It's not like eating regular spaghetti. It's good for you. Brian Small says that might be a new brand name.
No,
Synaptic
band name.
A band name. Synaptic Map. Yeah.
I like it.
I like that too. We had a band name the other day we talked about. What was it? It was something that wouldn't be a band name, but
I don't remember.
Scott Tonka says, let it go. Thank you, Scotty.
Finish our break, or have we done everybody?
I think we've done everybody. And by the way, cannot overemphasize to you the importance of the Atzenhofer studio. We're visiting with Jake. Jake is kind of their in-house promotions guy, and he's going to send us some more stuff. Tommy Taylor said the other day, it's always truck month at Atzenhofer. Get into Atzenhofer on the Chevy side, find a new Silverado 4x4 or a new Silverado. They have vehicles there that have already been upfitted.
You need bigger trucks. They've got those as well. Cube vans,
big trucks,
5-ton moving trucks. They got it all.
Trucks that drive on mud. Yep. There you go.
Plus, they can service any make and model. If you got a truck, go see Daryl in the truck center. He's good.
I bought my
and wish him a happy belated birthday. Won't get you anything, but might get you a smile.
Gently pre-owned Raptor Bronco or Bronco Raptor, as suits your fancy. My Raptor at Atzenhofer. I take it back, and Adela makes certain that my service is seamless. What I like about Atzenhofer is I can call. Can you get me in? Yes. How about noon? I go at noon. I sit down with a glass of tea. I watch the television in the waiting room. There's magazines. I go down and visit with the sales folks, and by the time I'm done, my car's done. They're on time. They run a nice schedule there.
What do you make of this with the Justice Department opening an investigation into the NFL? Do you follow any of this? Because this could break the antitrust that the NFL currently has.
I don't understand it. Is the NFL supposed to be provided like free to the public on major networks in
Well,
order to maintain their tax-free or
they-
tax-exempt status?
They were allowed under the Broadcasting Standards Act of 1961 or something like that, if I remember correctly. They were allowed to basically just go with wherever they wanted to for their games.
right.
And so anyway, I think it was Forbes did an analysis that if you wanted to watch every single NFL game last year, it was going to cost you almost $1,000 to buy all of the subscriptions and streaming packages and all that stuff.
And how is that illegal? Why should you have the privilege of watching every NFL game? Is it something to do with antitrust? I don't understand.
Sports Broadcasting Act of 1961, Wall Street Journal reporting that it grants the league limited antitrust protection, allows teams to collectively negotiate packages of TV rights. I think the Dallas Cowboys still have some of those rights for preseason stuff. Brad Sham and all that on the preseason games. But
Brad Sham's got to be 100 years old.
Has to
Cody,
be.
how old is Brad Sham? SHAM. The NFL said it is the most fan and broadcast friendly league, with 87% of its games available on local TV.
here's the problem there. They are available over the air in markets where the teams are playing, but a lot of people don't have over the air. So anyway, but I mean,
Who's
there's a whole
suing
bunch
them?
of things.
The
But
government?
I think the
76.
Justice Department is just looking into and investigating whether or not they violated the antitrust. But yeah, I don't know exactly what the end goal is here, whether it's to increase access, lower cost.
I don't know.
The NFL is only doing this because their owners are too stupid to not pay players ungodly amounts of money that they really don't need or deserve, right?
Right.
And this is the only income stream they have left because they priced the average fan out of the tickets. Like, look at the World Cup. The World Cup just said, yeah, we got tier 1 tickets. They started about $5,000. We're going to grab a section of those for the final, and they're going to be worth $10,000 a piece. The average soccer fan is being priced out of the World Cup. So what did FIFA do in December? Well, we got a small section of tickets in most stadiums, and we'll make them available for $60 a piece.
You
It's
know,
ridiculous.
here's the problem. My dad used to always say, and I used to always scoff, those pros they're gonna price themselves out of the market. Well, I've always believed in an unfettered marketplace. I've always believed that the market will prevail, right? I mean, there was a period of time, and I respected them for this. There was a period of time where the Aggies football product was so bad that Aggies left at halftime. There have been many, many games in Austin where the fans are so drunk by halftime, they just go home. But the idea is that we keep funding, especially at the pro level. You can't go. I've got a family of 4. I'm telling you, if I wanted to go to a Texans game and I wanted the kids to have, thank you, Brian. If I wanted the kids to have a decent experience, it would honestly cost me $1,000 for the 4 of us to go to the ball game, maybe more.
Just for tickets.
Just for the tickets.
Yeah.
Brian Small says nothing better than a good scoff. Brian Small, some trivia. 1990, help me be small, 192. Brian Small and I went to the home opener of the Texas Rangers at the ballpark at Arlington. It was hailed as one of the greatest stadiums ever built, and it has now been deemed obsolete, and the Rangers have a new stadium. That's how old I am.
Yeah.
I was at Wrigley before there were lights. I really was. 1986. There were no lights at Wrigley Field. They played during the day. I skipped out of an insurance conference to go to the game. Cubs lost.
94 says
94, be small. Thank you. We were there together. Me, you, Bob Euchre. Brian says he needs reparations. Folks, it's the top of the hour. We love you desperately. We will be here we're here next week,
We're
right?
here next week. We'll see you Monday.
There you go. Folks, I hope you have a great day. Be safe on the roads this weekend and go by Atzenhofer and find you a new Chevy. We love you guys.
Go see if my Honda Accord's still on the lot.
Under $28,000. Have a good weekend, folks.
Bye, folks.
Bye-bye.